There are three major obstacles people have when it comes to kind of like achieving a pro level. And the third one is skills. And I want to also show you that this is like a misconception a lot of people have. So let's dive into that. As I said in the first video, it's really important that you believe in yourself. But I know that a lot of you guys will say, I don't have the skills. If I compare my own tracks to professional tracks, they don't sound like them. And yes, they don't sound like them because that's naturally, it's kind of like a progression. Everybody is looking for this magic trick, but if you are really want to level up and if you want to get better in your music production, then it's 1% at a time. And you will have incremental steps and you will have many of those incremental steps. So maybe depending on where you start, you don't need to get like 100% better, but like 1,000 or 10,000% better. And then it's a lot of like 1% steps. And that's absolutely okay because it's not a jump like this, and that's actually a really good thing because it would be super frustrating. Let's say you're always on that level and then you suddenly jump and you're completely overwhelmed. It's more like a small growth like this where you get like each time a little bit better, and that's also why it's so important, as mentioned before, that you manage your time, that you have like this 1-2 hours at least per week or better per day which you produce music, because that will add up in time a lot. It's like compound interest on your music skills. And the better you get, the more success you will have and the more fun actually it is to produce, because at a certain stage you can put your tracks in a DJ set with other professional tracks and you really don't notice the difference anymore. And that is, in my opinion, where the real fun starts. Because in the beginning it's fun, then it becomes like frustrating because you don't reach what you want to reach. So in the beginning you're kind of like, let's say, over enthusiastic, so everything is cool, it's new and it's fun to do it, but then there's some frustration which will kick in. You will think, oh, my tracks are not sounding like all these professional tracks, I don't get any release, I don't get any gigs. But at some certain level you will reach a level where you get into this release territory and where your tracks sound like other good tracks, and then it becomes really fun producing music, in my opinion, because then it becomes really rewarding. And it's also super nice to play your tracks then in a sequence of all the other stuff, and doors open like that, you can collaborate with people, that you can make remixes and stuff, and it becomes so much more abundant, the whole thing. And I want you to kind of like overcome this little frustrating the valley, let's say, and bring you then back to the kind of like mountain. And from there, I think it's super nice because once you have reached like a certain level, you don't fall down again. It's kind of like going only up. I mean, it's going slower up than before, I would say. In the beginning, you make like the biggest leaps suddenly, but it's going up for sure. I've already mentioned I couldn't really like clap in rhythm, and my music was crap, let's say. But it was a journey, you know, like it was around like 4 years ago where I really started the journey, and like let's say 2-3 years where I really dive deeper into that journey, and goes quite quick actually, that you can reach a certain level. And I have seen it on myself and on my students. I had one student who started like really low and he's now releasing a DACRU as well. And there's many students I have actually which I really see that they have potential in there. And let me explain the system, because I designed this so that you can get the fastest result in the shortest amount of time, and that's really important to make the progress, so that you don't kind of like starve out in the valley of death, and you get like this motivation. Because if you're moving quick to that kind of like top here, then you're quicker at the part where it starts to get fun, and where it gets more and more fun over time. And let me explain quickly the system. So the system we use is like the right information. So you get like a video series on each topic, like kick and bass and drums and everything. And it goes from A to Z, really about every step. So a lot of people ask, why should I actually take a course if there's everything on YouTube? But on YouTube, there's everything like scattered, and it's not really like from A to Z. And in a course like this one, I'm giving you whatever you're choosing. There you can really find information organized from A to Z from one source and not from like multiple sources. And then it goes about applying this information, because information only is nothing. And that's why, in my opinion, a lot of masterclasses also lack out there. It's because they don't really apply the information. The students just like watch them. And we have a really, really strong focus on feedback. And those students who really use the feedback every week, those are the students who succeed. And I want to show you one student here. He will be releasing at Darkroom Records in the Uncharted next year. So that's an amazing achievement actually, because he started really low, around that level, maybe a bit higher than what I showed you like from me 4 years ago. And in under 1 year, he made it to a level where he can release at Darkroom Records. And he put his homework like every week here into the Discord channel. So he uploaded the project. So we always work with projects. So we take like Ableton, Cubase and Bitwig, but you could also upload waves, but better is always the project. And then we give feedback to that project. So basically what we do is we open a student's project and then we go through a whole project, we play the whole project and we give like extensive video feedback. So you can see this is like uploaded here about mixing in that case from Morsey. Morsey is, by the way, one of the sickest producers out there. You can Google him. He played like super big stages and he's always among like the top 20, top 30 producers out there from all the Psytrance producers worldwide. And we give like really extensive feedback on everything. So we go through a whole track and we improve stuff. We tell people what they should improve. And that's really important. So you have to have the right information, but you need to apply the right information. And then in the last step, you need to get feedback on that. So this is just like from my course, what I showed you. You can whatever establish your own kind of like cycle like that. You can take your own sources, then work them and send it to friends for feedback. That's also okay, but obviously the better the source and the better the feedback, the more easy it is for you to do the middle part. So it's like that, like you start with like information, you might apply it, but you don't apply it right. And then you get the feedback and you do it again and you do it again and you do it again until you really reach the same level of the information and until you have like a kick and bass, like sounds like the kick and bass in the video tutorials, and you have drums which sound like that, and you make like cool leads and arrangement and mixing and mastering so that you have in the end like a full-blown super good track which can be released at a label. But again, it's about continuous work. I really want to be dead honest. I had also students who didn't do the homework, and I was always wondering, why does somebody pay that money if you don't use it? I don't know. Honestly, maybe they didn't set up the right kind of like time management in place, which we talked earlier before. But honestly, if you use this resource and you give up your homework, then I can guarantee you that we will get you somewhere. It may take for some people like shorter and for some people longer, but if you really work it, then it's inevitable that we kind of like reach this together. So to mention this again, it's not only about the information, it's about applying this in a continuous feedback cycle in which you level up and level up and level up, and only like 1% maybe each time, or maybe in the beginning it's 10% and then like 7 or whatever, but you will go up, and even if you go down one time, you will go up in the long term, and that's the important thing.